Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I want to talk a little bit about the fact that we're all apparently about to become victims of circumstance. And I couldn't be more friggin' stoked. I actually read an article about this earlier today, and not before sort of tracking down through Google other articles confirming it, because I wanted to make sure this wasn't like a leftover April Fool's prank or something along those lines. Apparently, it has been announced, as the title of this video suggests, that there's going to be a sequel to the Three Stooges film, produced and directed a few years back now by the Farrelly brothers, and starring, of course, as you can see here, Sean Hayes, Chris Diamantopolous, and Will Sasso as Larry, Moe, and Curly, respectively. And no fooling, I am just so happy and so pleased at this announcement. I know this particular movie is like at best a guilty pleasure for probably people like me who are lifelong fans of the Stooges, and if you're somebody who has been following my channel for a while, I've actually talked about this film a couple of times, going back to the year I began making videos. It was one of the first videos I ever made, sort of reacting to the news, like what were they thinking, the Farrelly brothers, who would go on to produce and direct this film. I was like, oh my God, they're talking about like Jim Carrey and Benicio del Toro and Sean Penn, and it just sounded like, what are they smoking? Why would they even try this? A movie comes out, and I don't actually see it in theaters. I have to wait till it comes out on DVD. But I bring it home and I watch it, and I laughed all the way through the movie. There were a lot of jokes like I had kind of feared were, sort of scatological and stuff like that, but it was done close enough, like in the vein of Dumb and Dumber, another Farrelly brothers film, that I rolled with it, and I do feel that the film suffered from a poor three-act structure, like trying to, make the story out to be three shorts, such like that. I do think there were things that weren't as well thought out or not as sort of placed and figured out as best as could have been. But in the videos, post, as far as the reaction to the movie goes, one, I, was basically asking the question, why did this movie have to suck? Because I could literally watch this trio of actors, Hayes, Diamantopolous, and Sasso, playing these roles for hours. I could sit back and watch this for hours because they are the closest embodiment, and I stand by this, of the Three Stooges since the three real guys. And that is to say, of course, Larry, Moe, and Curly. Of course, it does beg the question, will we one day see a Shemp, that kind of thing. I even, I'm a fan of Shemp. I even like Curly Joe DeRita, when the boys went from having their stint in shorts and where they got kind of screwed on the deal monetary-wise. They weren't getting what they were deserving. But then later they had a big-time film career, resurgence in the 50s, after doing all this, work basically back in the 20s, 30s. And this is all stuff they did, these shorts, way after being in vaudeville and coming from theater and that kind of stuff. So, like, watching that movie, anytime these three are on screen, anytime they are interacting as the Three Stooges, the original Stooges did, I mean, it was gangbusters. I loved it. I was eating up every minute of it. And I hold the film in high regard, as bad as most people consider it to be, because of this trio of actors. Literally, just as I say, the closest embodiment to the original Stooges as you will ever get. Hands down as far as I'm concerned. And so we recently have this announcement now, the sort of licensing holder of the Three Stooges, C3 Entertainment, as well as Grand Peaks Entertainment, which I'm not familiar with, and The Exchange also, which I'm not familiar with, the three CEOs of this particular trio of conglomerates, if you will, are going to be working in partnership as far as producing, advertising, licensing this new feature film. And it's said to be sort of an action comedy piece that will feature a very well-known and sort of, I guess, mainstream sense, action star. Is this going to be like Jason Statham? I saw somebody suggesting The Rock, which would be awesome. I don't exactly know, but the idea that we're going to get sort of a presumably full-length feature film, not broken up and bracketed sort of poorly in shorts framework, but then it's one big story like the first film. All I know is I'm sold, knowing that Hayes, Diamantopolous, and Sasso are on board, are going to be reprising. Because, I mean, even at the premiere of this Fairley Brothers film, they were in character. They were going on WWE Raw or whatever in character. And you can find videos of that stuff, footage of that stuff on YouTube. And I'm just dying every minute of it. Every interview, they're in character. And like in the movie, Diamantopolous especially, even above, no offense to them, Hayes and Sasso, this guy is Mo. I mean, he gets it. He knows exactly what Mo Howard, the original Mo, his reactions, his, sort of expressions and, all of the little things, but his cadence, the way he would deliver lines, the way he would react. And, the same can be said for Sean Hayes. Probably I would say he's my second favorite as being Larry, because he's very put upon and just, has that sort of nasal, if you will, depressive way of talking and carrying himself. And Sasso, he's spot on. What can you say? He knows the sort of crux of what Curly is, being, sort of that blimpy third wheel, if you will, to the trio, the dumbest of the three, And I just couldn't be more freaking stoked. Going back to that video, I said, why did this Fairley Brothers film, why did this particular film have to suck? Why did it have to underperform? Anybody in their right mind, if you're, a Stooges fan, you can say sacrilege, you can spout, to the end of the week how much this movie sucked. But I challenge anyone to watch their stick, these three guys, and tell me they are not dead on accurate as just being the personification in modern sense of the original Mo, Larry, and Curly. And it's these three that makes me on board for this. Again, I'm assuming it's going to be an hour and a half, 2 hours. And that's not nearly long enough, but I will definitely chomp at the bit to see it if it means getting these three back together and doing their shtick and living up to the epitome of the charm and the slapstick and just the off-the-wall absurdity of the Three Stooges, which they so freaking well embodied, even in a movie that is said to be this bad. And frankly, I enjoy it. I'm not somebody who gets into the whole guilty pleasure thing, because if I like it, I like it. It's not a guilty pleasure thing. And I could, and probably have in the past, passed this movie as, a guilty pleasure, but I enjoy it. And it's because of these three right here. And a sequel, whatever that's going to be, I don't know. It's very much in the early stages. They announced somebody who is tentatively going to be penning the script. Don't know what kind of director we're going to be looking at, if the Fairley Brothers are even going to be interested or coming back at all. I mean, this is a long-winded video just to say I'm so stoked about it, but I couldn't be more stoked. Again, I enjoy watching these three, just reliving and breathing life back into that Three Stooges trio. Again, a lifelong favorite. One of the first inspirations of laughter in my life as a child was the Three Stooges, alongside Laurel and Hardy and, Robin Williams and even, John Ritter on Three's Company. Some of my earliest comedy influences, and of course later would be like Aykroyd and Belushi and Dangerfield and Carlin and all these people. But this movie, I enjoy it, and I enjoy it because of these three, and I can't wait to see what the sequel beholds and who the action star that they're looking to get is going to be. And I hope it actually really swims. I hope this sort of opens the floodgates and shows us how good it can be and doesn't have that sort of reaction this movie had, where it didn't perform well enough. So anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you think of this news. Are you going to be excited for it? Do you think it's a waste of film? Let me know in the comments below, and otherwise that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and catch you later. Peace.